Hello, Village. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you are watching this. Lady Lynette here. And so I have taken over Journey Life TV just for a few moments. I have a special interview for you, and you do not want to miss this. I have the extreme pleasure not only to come before you to show you an interview and to have a conversation with a person, but this person is very, very special to me. This person I love with my whole heart. This is a person who is the reason why I'm here. So I am interviewing my mother. So her name is Loretta Mitchell, and let me bring her on. Hi, mommy.
Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right. So I just kind of did a little intro of how much you mean to me and how much I love you. And you are the reason that I am here today, as wonderful as I am. So I wanted to have you introduce yourself to the village and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Loretta Mitchell. I was born in Memphis in 1951. I'm 74 years old. I currently live in Illinois. I was married for 43 years before my husband transitioned. I worked for 44 years for the federal government, and here I am today.
And you're retired and you're happy.
Yes, I'm retired. I'm happy. I have my wonderful daughter, my two beautiful, beautiful grandchildren, and of course my son-in-law, who I
All
love
right.
very, very much.
And we love you too. We love you too. So, I want to take people back just a little bit. So, you are a person who went through, although we're going to talk specifically about reset, I kind of want to give people some context. You are a person who went through the 40-day turn up, a person who went through the journey 3.0 plus, and have successfully completed the reset. So, what would you say prompted you to start the 40-day turn up, and when did you go through the turn up?
I went through the turnip right after COVID in 2020.
Okay.
What prompted me to do it was that I was just not feeling well. And you all had the turnip out for a while, but I was scared I wasn't going to be able to do it. So I was like, I can't do that. And I love this too much. And then I sat down one day and I was like, I prayed and I was like, I'm just going to do this.
And
And
you did
that's what
it.
prompted me to do it. My health too. My blood pressure was up. I was weighing 241 pounds. It was just all kind of stuff going on. Yeah.
So I want to bring up a picture and I want you to show me. Now, this was a little bit before you did the turn up, and tell everyone where this picture was as it relates to. So this was 2015. So this was 5 years prior to the turn up, but this was 3 years before dad passed.
Yes.
So tell us about this picture.
Well, this picture I was at my uncle's house in the basement in 2015, and we were taking pictures of us together. And he took that picture, and you don't think about it. So he sent it to me one day, and I never looked at the side of myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was like, Dad, I don't have a waistline. I couldn't put a belt on. I just looked at it and I was like, oh, okay. It's because I got white on. So, I was like, but then when the turn up came and I kept reading about it and I kept trying to do it on my own, I said, I'm gonna take the plunge.
And I'm so glad you did. And you bring up a really good point. You said two things that I want to make certain that people understand before we get to the journey and then the ultimate reset. You initially said that you had seen it for quite some time and that you just didn't think that you could do it. So the belief in yourself was like paramount for you to actually even take the step initially. And then you never saw a side picture of yourself. So you were confronted with the reality of kind of where you were, and then you ultimately went through the turnip. So tell us how much you lost during the turnip.
Okay, during the turn up, I lost 22 pounds.
Okay.
Okay,
And then I'm sorry, go ahead.
okay, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Then the journey, I lost another 11 pounds.
Okay, so tell us when the journey happened. Did you go immediately from the
Yes,
40-day turnip to the journey? Okay, which
yes,
is what we always recommend if possible.
right.
Okay, so you went from the turnip to the journey, you lost 11 pounds, so 22, 23 pounds plus 11, and then came reset. So you had tremendous success, like mid 30-pound weight loss, and you could have stopped there. But what prompted you to say, you know what, I need a reset? And what does reset look like for you?
So I was saying to myself after maybe a year or two of, this is year 4 or 5 after the journey, and I found myself slipping. You know what I mean? I found myself, okay, well, I can eat another piece of bread today. I can have something sweet today, or I can take it off. I won't eat next week, or I won't eat tomorrow. But I couldn't get past that. I wanted to get out of that 180, 190, and I just couldn't do it on my own. And I went. I'm gonna show you something. I went back and got this book.
You made that. I love it.
Yeah, so I got the book and I was reading through it. I'm like, I still can't do this because I had no accountability but myself,
Mm.
you know.
You bring up such another good point because we have the tools, but it's the village, it's the accountability, it's the I am doing this not only for myself, but as a representation to encourage other people. Because if people seeing you do it in your 70s, right? So you're
Mhm.
74 now, but at the time you were late 60s, early 70s. I know you wouldn't mind me sharing this, but two complete knee replacements and you were still doing it. You were like, I have to do it. So in the reset, what do you think was like the switch? Because obviously the turn up, the journey, and reset are three different processes, completely different focuses, completely different outcomes, completely different mindset. But when you think about when you were resetting, what was something that really came up for you that really kind of helped you make the switch to recommit to yourself through the reset?
Well, when I signed up for Reset, I love the it was like a month or almost a month
Oh,
of
the pre-work. Hmm.
pre-work, the memos, the videos. But what really helped me was the self-reflection at the end of the chapters. Because you read through the chapters, and then it's at target areas and self-reflection. And that was, reading is one thing, but self-reflection is another one. And it's counting counting yourself. So I think the videos and everything were really very instrumental in me actually taking the part, because I hadn't even signed up yet. I mean, we got the books, but to go through it, because I said if I did it once, I can do it again. And I just reset my mind. I said I got to do this, and I did. So
And so, how much did you lose during reset?
I lost 12. I think I lost 12 pounds altogether.
Okay.
Altogether, yeah. From and one thing I wanted to say is, when I found out I was going on reset, I went crazy. I just, I had this, I had that. I'm like, I can lose it again, but I don't think I learned something from that. I'm never going to do that again, because that 5 pounds could have been added to the weight I lost, instead of adding to the weight I had gained before I started. So,
Mm,
if that
that's a
makes any sense.
No, that's a
Yeah.
very good point. I think that's just like human nature, right? Like we know we're about to be in our minds so restricted, not thinking of all the things that we can enjoy, but now we're thinking about all the things that we are not going to be able to enjoy. So we're going to eat it
Hmm.
all before
Right,
we
right,
start.
exactly.
So it's I
I ain't
mean
gonna be
it's
able to
human
have
nature.
bread for 40 days. I'm not gonna be able to have rice. So
Mhm.
yeah, but it helped a lot.
Yeah, and one of the things that I personally noticed, and then I want to show I don't want to say after picture because you are still working so hard, which we'll get to in a second. But one of the things that I personally have seen in you, not only in your mindfulness about bringing your food and drinking your water and really focusing on meal prepping and things like that. And you're a party of one at home, right? So we get a lot of comments and a lot of people saying, well, I don't want to cook just for me, but you have to.
You
It's
have
just
to.
kind of one of those things you just have to do. But one of the things that you really have done is you have really taken your fitness to like another level. You sent me a picture the other day and it was like a screenshot of like the Apple Fit portion, and it said effort 9. It was like all out effort. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen 9 on my particular fitness programs. So, what made you, like you'll eat like when you come here, you'll stay for weeks and months and you'll walk every time you like after dinner, you'll get up and take a 20, 30, 40-minute walk like every time. And I've never like, first of all, I don't do that. So kudos to you for doing that. But where did that come from?
It came from one of Joseph's videos where he was talking about you got to put that extra effort in. And even though like I might have walked that morning or something like that, it was just something it was just something in me. I'm like, I just want to get out and do this. It was initial force. And he was talking about the effort too. When you exercise, you can exercise and walk, but are you walking at a pace? Look at your heart rate, all those videos and stuff. And I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, I walked yesterday. I did my stretches, but I want to do something extra. And, being in a place, that I could walk actually safely. I'm like, why am I sitting here? I could be outside walking. So and even now I do that. Now I can't, it's been 900 degrees in Chicago for the last month or so, but now I go to the fitness center and I do the elliptical, or I walk on the bait, or I bowl more than once a week. I make sure that I do something for 4 days, at least a week.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so for reference, let me show you guys again the picture of her before. And now I want you to see her after. Like, first of all, when you sent me this picture, I said, where are you going? Okay. Oh, I'm going to a church event. I'm like, that's another story for another time. But again, I want to show this picture and then this picture. And this is a woman who, again, like I said before, has had 2 complete knee surgeries. But our age range for, let me just show this before. It's so amazing, Mom. You look amazing.
Thank you, sweetie. And I have a
One,
waistline.
yes, you do. Yes, you do, Loretta. One of the things, we have a range of people, 18 all the way up to, mid to late 80s. And so one of the things that we kind of hear the most as we get up in the age brackets is, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. And one of the things that you have really, really found and loved is walking. And you went from not being able to walk a block to doing and competing in a 5K race to doing, almost 10Ks like just on a normal day. So, what would you say to the person who is attempting to get into reset, who is afraid that they either can't do it or afraid that they're looking for the same results that they got in the turn up or the journey? And what do you think their mindset should be, or what words of encouragement can you give to them as they enter the reset?
The words of encouragement: don't worry about what you did, worry about what you can do. Because if I look back at, I lost 20 pounds and turn up, but you're not going to, I don't know, I can't tell for everybody, but I said, I'm not going to say I can't do anything. So when I said I was going to do the reset, the word reset itself made me think about resetting. It's like your phone. Your phone sometimes needs to be shut down and reset. And when it comes back with a whole new, you done lost some of the issues that you had with it. So that was my mind. And then I was like, well, I'm 74 now, and I can't do this. But I looked at it and I prayed. I really did. And I said, I have, in the 4 years since I finished the turn up, I have done a good job, but I can do a better job, and I just needed that extra effort. And don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just go ahead and do it. And once you sign up to do it, and the accountability, even though you have to send your weight in or whatever, you have more accountability to yourself than you do to others. So regardless of what it is, it's like I work hard for that 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds that week, So just don't be scared and just do it.
I love that. Well, Mom, I thank you so much. I love you. I am so proud of you.
Thank you,
And
sweetie.
I know that this process of continuing to reset yourself is something that you really take personally and you really take pride in, as you should. And I
Yes.
think for people who are watching this, who are excited, who've already signed up for reset, you're in for a treat. If you guys are on the fence about reset, you just heard Loretta. She just said, don't be scared. And
That's right.
it is such an amazing process to recommit to yourself, because not only are you recommitting yourself to the accountability and to the village, but it spills over into other aspects of your life. You're resetting your mind, you're resetting some of your relationships. When you're constantly focusing on yourself and you're constantly getting better, you're constantly showing up differently for the things and people in your life that mean something to you. So I want to again thank you, Mom, for our time together today. And
But
if
can I say one thing?
yes,
The master classes and the videos and the consistent, help about, I learned so much about my own health, even things that, just about taking care of myself. And this book here,
that's the book.
it's the best. It's the best. So I'm
That's the
just
book.
saying, just the video, everything was on par. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right,
Okay.
guys. So, further instructions about Reset, how to sign up, space is limited. So, whenever you're watching this video, make certain that you go to the website to find out if there's still space left. And if not, hopefully we'll catch you on the next round if there is a next round. So, as Dr. Joe says, be well, be blessed, and I will see you next time.